Hello and welcome. Let's have some music and let's get set up. Hopefully you can hear the music. Just making sure I can as well. Cool. And let's send and invite more people to join us. So let's give this just a second to propagate, and then we'll dive into our usual charts, which, yeah, is part of our daily fun, or at least it's part of the daily fun for me. I don't know about you. I don't know why you're here. Please do share why you're here. For me, it's kind of fun. I enjoy doing this. Anyway, so let's get started. Welcome to the daily NFT market health analysis with me, Daniel Tenner, aka Swombat, where we're going to be looking at what's going on in the market in terms of data rather than just vibes, and just trying to puzzle out what's happening, try to guess where it might go, while reminding ourselves that these are just guesses. We have no idea what's actually going to happen. And why don't I have the brush here? There you go. And so, yeah, let's get started. So yesterday we were around here, and it was like, or actually no, I think we were around here, and it was like, okay, maybe it's making a new like higher low, or maybe it's going to keep going down, and we don't really know. Let's see what happens. It's like kind of the weekend, and it's like a holiday weekend in the US and stuff, and maybe like, that's what's going on and why the volumes are lower. Well, the good news is things have started like, trending back up gently, very, very gently, nowhere near as steep as this thing that happened here. So, we're not like, maybe we'll go like right after this this update it will go up, but right now it's still like just trending very gently up, these volumes. And in Zeneca Old, it's kind of, it's not making a new low, but in Zeneca New and the women led, like Zeneca New is clearly making a new low, and in Zeneca, in the women led projects index, is just about making a new low there. So we're definitely not in a kind of bullish feeling in the market in general, at least in those projects that we're looking at. Obviously, there's projects like, goblins and elves and God knows what else, random meme projects that are still pumping and getting some volumes. I look at it as kind of what I call hype ambulance chasing. And it's a game that you can play, like, if you've got a good nose for it, like, you can smell those projects that are gonna hit the zeitgeist, and you reckon you can gamble a bit of money and make some money from that. Great. Like, for example, and like, that's not something that I dismiss as something, not worthy of respect. Like, Zeneca is somebody who does that quite well. He's got a good instinct for this kind of stuff, and he minted like, or he bought like 40 goblins or something like that, and he's been slowly selling them and taking profits, and good for him. And he's clearly got a good sense of what works and what doesn't, so that's nice. But if you want to play that game, that's good. If you don't particularly want to play that game, it's a risky thing. And even Zeneca, for example, I asked him on the 333 Discord, and he said on those kind of plays he has about a 30% success rate. So like 2 out of 3 of those projects that he reckons will do well will turn out not to do well. And that's somebody who's got a very good talent for sensing where the market is going. So, make your bets according to what you believe your talent to be, I guess. If we glance at the bar charts, we can see there's nothing particularly interesting going on, no project massively pumping, so there's not really a point to going and trying to identify what is like a little bit of activity like this might be. It's still fairly spread between lots of different projects. There's nothing notable going on in the bar chart, other than that volumes are very, very, very low in 2 of these indices. If we look at the longer term picture a little bit, so we had this kind of bounce up here, and now, I mean, if you look at this picture, basically, we could still be in this downtrend. Like, there's still a plausible downtrend. It's not an exact channel, but it's still possible that, you know, we had this dead cat bounce here, and then we're kind of going to continue down. And that's worth bearing in mind. Even though I feel like we've probably turned around, I don't know that, and I can't know that. And like, you know, there's the three scenarios are always, it could go down, it could go up, or it could stay more or less the same. And like, they're definitely still all open. We don't have any kind of confirmed trend over time. Like, if you look here, like in December before the January bull, there was a trend over time that was rising, and that became more and more visible as time passed. Not enough time has passed to confirm that this has been a rebound, like, or that this has been a market bottom. The only thing that I have telling me that it might be a market bottom is that like previously, when it hit volumes this low, it was a market bottom. This is the lowest volume we've hit basically since August last year. And every time we hit a volume this low before, we did rebound. But maybe this time is different. You can never know for sure. So please, you know, act accordingly, and don't put all your eggs in the basket. Bet on the fact that, oh yeah, we're about to see a rebound and bull times are coming back. And even if they are, you know, like, typically these volumes take a while to build up, like several weeks, and price doesn't immediately follow. Like, you know, like it doesn't all, like, in fact, in these last two climbs that we had, as we saw, the kind of hypothesis that things would trickle down from the top 10 to other indices didn't actually happen. So, you know, there's no by no means guarantee that just because there's a lot of activity in the top 10, we will see other projects pumping. I still do believe that unless there is a lot of activity in the top 10, we're probably not going to see a lot of like a generalized bull market, because I don't think the most relevant projects are going to be dead while the rest of the market is pumping, because people still believe that those projects are worth putting money into. Whether that's true or not, that's another question, but that's still a belief that's there in the market. If we look at Zeneca Old, that one, yeah, is still in a downtrend, but it's not making new lows at the moment. Maybe it's like, you know, had its turnaround and it's about to start going up like the top 10. It's impossible to tell at this point. It's not retraced as much as the top 10, so it could be like, you know, you could see it as more optimistic. And, you know, it is just one of those three random thermometers that we thrust into the NFT soup and try to measure what's going on across the space. By the way, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them now rather than wait until the end. I can answer them immediately or park them for later if I feel like they're better answered after the charts. If we look at Zeneca New, here we are seeing a more pessimistic picture where we are basically all-time lows. So this index, this particular thermometer is telling us it's ice cold in there. And, you know, it is what it is. You know, we look at this, these are very low volumes. There's a lot of projects in Zeneca New, and they're only seeing about 60 sales every 3 hours. So that's quite low. Finally, looking at the women-led projects, there we also see it's not quite an all-time low, but it's a very low amount of volume. And this is after a long period of decreasing volumes. So this set of projects has definitely not had a good time since February. And it's not looking like it's recovering anytime soon. Prices are still trending down. That's the state of this particular project. Should things start heading up? I mean, like the wishful thinking says, yes, they should start heading up. We want things to head up. And this looks potentially hopeful. This is like, you know, going back to the top 10, this is a higher low. And if we look at the picture outside of NFTs and look at specifically Bitcoin, we can see that actually there has been a bit of a rally over the last day. Like there were a couple of days of up and then a nice little rally here. So is that going to last? I mean, I wouldn't count on it. I saw that Ben Cohen of Into the Cryptoverse has a video saying that there's going to be a June rally. Maybe. I mean, he's a much better crypto analyst than I could possibly hope to be. So, you know, take his word over mine. It could very well happen. So, you know, right. He says it could go back to the 200-day SMA. I haven't had a chance to watch that video yet. I've got the 200-day EMA here. So it could go back. That would be like potentially up to 40k or something. Like, surely not. I'd be very surprised if it went up to 40k. Do bear in mind that usually when crypto appreciates rapidly, volumes in NFTs dry up. So this kind of volatility is not actually good for us. But, you know, it is what it is. And we'll just have to accept the fact that we're living in a crypto world with all these cryptocurrencies doing their thing. And that has an impact on NFTs. In case you weren't there when I last explained it, the reason why usually NFTs go down in volume when ETH, and like ETH in particular, is trending up, is that when you have something that's going up, like, and feels certain, let's say there's like, you know, another 10 days of this going up straight with maybe one red candle in the middle, but like, you know, mostly just going straight up. This feels like a certainty, even though it isn't. And so people aren't going to risk that return by buying NFTs. And so they're less likely to spend it on NFTs. And that becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy where the NFT prices go down because nobody wants to put their ETH in it because ETH is going up, and because they think NFTs are more risky, and because nobody wants to put their money into NFTs. Therefore, NFT prices start going down. So that's usually the mechanism that happens there. So if we do see a June rally and things just start heading up and we go back to, like, I don't know, 3k ETH or something like that, then, well, be prepared for that to have an impact on NFTs as well. Downward impact, most likely. It's like when ETH moves rapidly down or rapidly up, it's usually not good news. Like, this is not good news for NFTs. When this happened, we had a bit of a bear going on. And this is also not good news for NFTs, because when everybody's afraid, nobody buys anything. People sometimes sell at a discount, but usually they just don't buy anything. So, right. I think I'm kind of done with the charts. I don't know if anybody has any questions at this point. We can glance at the fact that other markets than crypto are seeing a little bit of rebound here. This is the Nasdaq. This is the S&P. This is the Dow Jones. They're all seeing these little rebounds. The UK, the FTSE, is also like getting this kind of, it's almost back to its top. Like, it's done surprisingly well in this period, much better than the US indices. And the USD, the Dixie, is going down recently, which is usually correlated with crypto going up. So, you know, take that as you may. I'll put the music on, see if it brings any questions. It sometimes does. There's lovely soothing music by my friend Steve. Stock did recover. That's not a question. Not a criticism, just a statement that is not a question. What else to comment on? I could mention that, yeah, I won't be doing any project reviews for the next couple of weeks, because I'll be filming a course in Dubai, and I'm still like writing the materials for the course, and I'd like to focus my time on that. Now that I've finished doing quite so much exercise as I've been doing in the last couple of months, and I have a bit more time to actually do stuff to do with NFTs, like, you know, finish writing this course. But I do intend to return with these reviews. I'm talking to Zen Academy about maybe doing some kind of deeper, in-depth interviews. Yeah, so NFT NYC, that's a good question. Well, I mean, I'm hearing there's a lot of... thank you, Salvatan. I'm hearing there's a lot of projects planning, like holding up their big launch news and stuff to NFT NYC. I mean, generally, when a big hyped event happens, yes, that can be good for projects that play that game well. At the same time, I don't know, like, I mean, I don't know how it's going to play out, but I wonder if all the projects are doing this, if everybody's waiting till NFT NYC to, like, let the hype out, and they all release their big news at the same time, then attention will still be diluted across all the projects. So it will be like, okay, there's 50 projects that have dropped some massive news for NFT NYC, but which one do you buy? And like, I'm not sure that the hype will have quite as much effect. I mean, if I was doing, like, deciding to play that game with my project, I think I would be more likely to want to drop the hype news before NFT NYC. Like, say like, well, we're not waiting for NFT NYC. Here's our massive like news and stuff, and get the attention early, which maybe is what's going to play out. Who knows? Maybe they're all going to start trying to front run NFT NYC. It would be kind of funny. I'm as you might know, I'm more keen on projects that are less hype driven and more utility and like, you know, value driven. And so for those, the hype is less important. It's a kind of local optimization. Yes, if a project that I'm bought in like has a massive hype pump, I might sell a few to de-risk. But beyond that, I'm not really trading them actively based on hype. So for me, it's not that interesting. But it might lead to more activity if that hype game is played well. But I don't know, like if everybody releases hype at the same time, you know, when like VCon didn't lead to any increase of activity, and there was plenty of like hype news coming out of that, and that was very recent. What else? I think there was another event before that. I can't remember what it was. That also, like, you know, was it Denver? No, I can't remember where it was. Yeah, it might have been Denver. But there was some kind of event somewhere that also didn't really lead to much increase of activity in the top 10 or in the rest of the market. So I'm not convinced that those events actually lead to people buying more. If anything, like all the potential buyers are sitting in bars and stuff in New York having drinks with each other and not necessarily buying NFTs at that point. So it might actually lead to a decrease in purchasing, maybe more purchasing after the event, but you know, by then people are hungover and recovering from the event and maybe not thinking about buying NFTs unless they were going to buy those NFTs anyway. Who knows? We'll see. I'm curious to see it. We'll see how that plays out. When is it exactly? Let's see. NFT NYC is going to be Woodstock. No, I'm not going to NFT NYC. When is it? Do they have dates? June 20th to 23rd. So it's still like 20 days left. Plenty of time for people to front run this and announce news that, like, you know, and try and front run the hype and get some hype before the event, which I think is probably the smarter play, because, you know, if everybody's releasing the hype in the same days, in the same 4 days, then, you know, the hype will still be just distributed between all the projects. So neither bullish nor bearish on NFT NYC influencing the market. I don't think hype should be the main driver of NFT value anyway. Any other questions? Bring the music back on. I will do my best to still do a live stream from Dubai, but I'm not sure how well that's going to work out. So we'll see. I'm going to bring my iPad, my camera, and like a portable microphone and see if that works out. But it might not work out. Yeah, but I'll be talking to Zeneca as well about doing some more in-depth interviews with founders, rather than just the light project reviews that, you know, take only half an hour. Okay. It looks like there aren't any more questions, which is great. That's totally fine. Right, thank you very much for dialing in. Thanks for your attention. I hope you got something of value out of this live stream, or if you're watching it later, out of this recording. And you know, enjoy your day. Have a wonderful time, and happy trading and investing. Take care. Bye bye.